Alright guys, it's time again for kitty kitties Militaria. And today, as promised, we are going to take a look at the 122nd Brigade at Dakovo. With that and Kitty Man Dingus's permission, we shall dive on into it. Let me see if I can get this to focus a little bit better. There we go. So, founding an organization. After the order for the creation of new brigades was passed on September 25th, 1991, the very next day, September 26th, the Dakovica 122nd Brigade of the Croatian Army was established. Already from the middle of 1991, the 2nd Battalion of the 107th Brigade ZNG was stationed in Dakovo. At the beginning of September, another battalion was created, which was immediately added to the Vinkovac's 109th Brigade ZNG. Since its establishment, the 2nd Battalion had been involved in various military taskings, but from its establishment, the unit had suffered from a lack of light and heavy weaponry, artillery, and armor. This issue changed immediately following the mid-September battle for the military facilities in Dakovo. In the Gaia military warehouse, weapons for the anti-tank division, ammunition for the anti-tank brigade, as well as all the weapons belonging to the territorial defense of Dakovo were seized, while 5 tanks and 7 armored personnel carriers were seized when the unit occupied the Gashinci military training ground, which greatly facilitated the defense of Slavonia, but also conditions were created for the establishment of the 122nd Brigade of the Croatian Army in Dakovica. The Dakovo Brigade of the Croatian Army initially consisted of the 2nd Battalion of the 107th Brigade ZNG. It then became the 1st Battalion 122nd. The battalion that until then was part of the 109th Brigade ZNG became the 2nd Battalion 122nd. At the beginning of November, the 3rd Battalion was formed, and in the middle of November, the 4th Battalion was formed. By the end of September, one mixed anti-tank artillery division was formed. Half a month later, in addition to the mixed anti-tank artillery division, the organization of a special mixed artillery division was completed. With the creation of the brigade, the anti-aircraft defense division, logistics platoon, and all other necessary components were established. The wartime commander of the brigade was Zvonimir Bertz, and at the end of 1991, Andrija Boricic took over the brigade. On October 1st, 1991, the brigade embarked on its first combat mission, attacking the Chetnik stronghold of Sholdolovci, occupying a position towards Markushica by occupying the Tomin-Hrast forest complex and the Markushica-Morovich road. The 1st Battalion mainly carried out tasks in the defense zone of Durgutovice. The 1st Battalion, the forest, Durgutovice Forest to the Vuku River, while the 2nd Battalion held defensive positions in the Kreketnyak Forest in contact with the Chetnik stronghold of Shodolovci. The 3rd Battalion occupied the line Dombak in the area of Lepenichka Shume, and the 4th Battalion occupied the defensive positions on the Medvish Channel with a forward position near Antamayura. The task of the brigade was not to allow the enemy to cut off Vinkovci and free the way to Slavonsky Brod, and not to allow the Dakovo-Osijek road to be cut. At its peak, the brigade numbered close to 4,000 men. Its artillery was engaged on other battlefields in support of operations, and the anti-aircraft division shot down 14 enemy aircraft. Sadly, throughout all combat operations, 49 members of the brigade laid down their lives on the altar of freedom for their homeland, while 297 were wounded. During 1992, the 122nd Brigade was gradually reorganized and demobilized. For the most part, its members returned to their peacetime activities, but some of them also filled the ranks of other units. After the end of the war, the brigade was awarded the Order of Nikolai Shubich Zhirinsky for the heroism of its members during the Homeland War. So there you go, guys. That's the bookwork on the 122nd Brigade. Let's take a look at what my man Mladen the Mannequin is wearing. So up top side, he's got a Yugoslav M5985 helmet. And this one is rather unique because someone has taken some camouflage cloth and glued it to the helmet itself. This has been personalized, as you can see. So someone named Mirko wore this at one point. Also threw the Shavanica decal on there. Totally digging that. My boy's got some DDR UTV. Yeah, I'm having brain fade right now. Combat harness, web gear, whatever you want to call it. Wow, that was pretty bad. DDR East German UTV web gear. He has a Yugoslav field torch for those night ops. Looks like he's from the 122nd Brigade, the Terriers. Pretty rad unit. They were, I believe, part of the 108th at one point. So I also have a patch, that same patch, but in a different color scheme from the 108th. He has a combat satchel for carrying whatever he wants to carry. You never know what it may be. And there's that patch of the 122nd Brigade at Dakovo. Coming around here, carry on with the DDR UTV. He has this nice map case with the Shavanica on it. He's got his entrenching tool for when he needs to dig a hasty position. And traveling around to the right. When it gets up close and personal, you know he's got to have that Bulgarian Makarov handle biz. Couple AK mag pouches. This dude's ready to rock and roll. Alright guys, that is the 122nd Brigade at Dakovo. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you enjoyed it, share it, like it, yada yada yada. What do you think, kitty? And that's what the kitty thinks. Alright guys, on my next couple of posts, or my next post rather, I am going to post a list of the brigades that I have coming up that I'm going to be doing videos on, so watch out for that.